to whom we're not quite sure. So head down, we just keep running along our fading golden shores. So head down, just keep running along our fading golden shores. Come give us your natural gifts, we make wealth from toil. Come pretend for history's page that we're advancing Australia fair. Let's pretend that we're all advancing Australia fair.
To all of you who are as old as me, Paris has always been a place you wanted to go with a lover and celebrate the romantic aura of Paris. But it's not like that anymore. Now it looks like a third world country, and the women of Paris seem to be in a great danger from all these illegal migrants. And one woman stood up and has been calling this out, and the French authorities were threatening to send her to jail, which I can't comprehend. Anyway, we are fortunate enough to have her on tonight. This is Thaïs. I'm going to leave her second name up to her, but this is it. Welcome to Cafe Lockdown and the Australian audience. And first, I want to applaud you for your courage. You are you're a shining example of a very brave French young woman. So can you tell me how did this all happen? How has France befallen into the state it is now?
Well, there would be many things to say. First, thank you for having me, and thank you for your kind words towards my involvement and my activism. Actually, it's like mostly the insane migration policy, of course, we have in France, and it has been the case for many years. And now, we had like a first generation of immigrants, the second, the third, and now even more than this third generation, which has been born here. So it's very difficult to actually deal with the issues that they cause, but also you still have this massive amount of migrants who come each year. Actually, if I could give you numbers, like just talking about legal immigration, each year in France, there are like 500,000 people coming in, and if you can relate, like this is the equivalent of the fifth biggest city in France, which is Nice. So just imagine like the the quantity of the person who live in Nice each year coming in France. So of course this is becoming very awful, and also the immigrant, the person who live here and who have immigrant origins, like I told you, like born here, but their parents came here, or their grandparents, they obviously don't assimilate to the French culture, and it's very, strong communities and cultures from Africa, Arab country, etc. And this person actually live in a lot of resentment also towards the French culture and the French people because of the colonization, etc. So all of this just create this very wrong atmosphere, and also all the damages we see, like there were many videos about the music day in France recently, which was on the 21 of June, and you just see like cars being broken, and people harassing others, and there were multiple women assaulted that night, also with serangs, to rape them. Yeah. So these kind of issues just multiply, and that is not to say also about all the sexual harassment and assaults that happen each day in France. It's getting worse, and women are being more and more afraid to go out. You just never go out alone, especially not in certain districts where even in major cities like Lyon, there are districts and areas where the bars there are no women anymore because there is a Muslim population very strong, which imposes its standards and culture, etc. So yeah, France is very threatened, its people and its culture, and it's getting worse. But that's why but I'm not the only one. But we try to aware the French people, of course, who wouldn't already be, but also to incite them to vote well, but also to speak out about this, to not be afraid of being called like a racist or etc. What the media can
So the
insult us
media
with.
is not on your side at all, because over here we
Yeah.
have the same thing. The mass migration, the highest numbers we've ever had, we have no space for them. Our people are already homeless. There's no jobs, and they're just pouring. And a lot of them are Muslims. They're people that don't seem to assimilate. We're not bringing in French or South Africans or Americans or Canadians. It's just Muslim countries and Africans. We have Sudanese youths running around Melbourne with machetes. It's insane. But we're looking at France, and it breaks our heart. England as well. But why don't the French authorities, the French police, how come they aren't passionately defending French women? Because you're their daughters. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, that's crazy. As you say, this is very, impressive, because each country which welcomes, a big Muslim population faces problems, and it's the same in all Western countries and areas of European descent, and this is really a international issue that we face. And I just talk about. I talk to you. I talk to American, also Europeans. They just all have the same problems, and also the same roots of the problem. And it's this ideology, anti-racist, and welcoming refugees, and being very empathetic to them, have much compassion, and this population, they use our empathy towards them against us. Like they use this anti-colonialism rhetoric, like to shame us for what we've done to them, as if we slaughtered them, but we went there. But for many countries like Algeria, for instance, to speak about French colonization, we just gave them hospitals, streets, clean streets, infrastructures, schools, etc. So we don't have anything to be ashamed of. And to talk about like the security of women, that's true that there is this immigrationist rhetoric. That's you cannot blame the immigrants for doing what they do to women, because they don't have the codes, they don't have the same culture, so we don't have we can't blame them. But at the other hand, they blame the white male for being always the oppressor, all this feminist bullshit we hear, and they try to shut women down for speaking out about who actually harasses them in the street, which is not like Jean or Louis. It's more like Rachid and this type of names and profiles, and we just all know it. But women in France, they are afraid to speak out about this, because they are forced to shut up, and to still have this leftist view.
What I don't understand is, I know the leftist view, but they must be able to see the amount of rapes. I mean, the rapes all over Europe have gone through the roof. We might have another one coming on from England who's a survivor of the Pakistani rape gangs, but the authorities protected them against her. And not just that you're a French woman, but you could be the mother for the next French generation. You have great worth to the country. And that's what I don't comprehend, how they are treating you as worthless. And these migrants, and especially the illegal migrants, having more worth than you. I just don't comprehend it from even a survival point of view, like a species survival point of view. You have so much culture, so much history in France. You're such a proud people. What are the people around you, like you, or your parents or your family and friends? Are they all for it and say, look, there's no problem, it's just how it is? Or is everyone enraged and wanting change?
Actually, the rage is rising in France because of all these events that multiplies, and people are getting more and more fed up with what's happening. But you know, they are still afraid of being called racist, etc., and they are really shy about the question. To talk about my family, it's not very representative because I was raised in a very right-wing and Catholic family, so of course I'm a bit biased, but I'm very glad I had this education. But you know, there is also this how would I translate it? But hate towards your own kind and own people. You know, like you are ashamed of being white, etc. So this
we have
also.
that here.
Yeah, you have that.
They shame us
also.
to be Australians. They shame us for being white. They shame us for being white men. They shame white women. They call Karens. There's just shame. It's like there's an attack on white Christians across the Western world. Yeah,
totally. We just it just seems like sorry, we don't have any survival instinct anymore, as you said very wisely. Like but also there is this thing that we are you know, not allowed to value our culture and people more than the others because of egalitarian vision, because everything has the same value, every culture worse another has the same worth, and so if we are not allowed to say proudly, like, European cultures and Western countries are more not only more developed, but they are more civilized, more sophisticated. We just value we just have so much value. We gave to the world so much things, and it's just the truth. But
you gave us Paris. I'm sorry,
it's the case.
I'm not French. You gave us Paris. Like Disneyland is somewhere you want to go as a kid. I want to go to Disneyland in America. I mean, I've never been. But Paris is somewhere you want to go as an adult. You want to take someone you love to Paris and say, and that might not be the reality when you're there, but even from a tourism point of view, it's insane. Everybody, it's on everybody's bucket list to go to Paris, and we don't want to get beaten up and robbed by African migrants. We don't.
Yeah, and like France is the first touristic country in the world still. Maybe it won't last, but it has to be for a reason. You know, there are any African country which is the first touristic country in the world. You know, so maybe there's a reason for that, and because of our glorious history and all that we've built and all the achievements we had. Like you know. There was this study, like 87% of human accomplishments come from you know, Western countries, and especially Germany, France, Italy, and Great Britain. I think it is like and Spain. So it's the heart of the Western civilization and European civilization. And but yeah, we have like this self-hatred thing, and I don't really know how to, you know, fight it. I think it has like really ancient roots, and maybe a bit of, you know, Christian values that are used against ourselves. You know, like this compassion and charity, etc. And so yeah, this is, you know, the biggest fight we have to have. It's facing ourselves, you know, because we have the resources, we have the solutions, actually we have the strength, but it's just like moral standards and stuff that are not allowing us to do what we have to do to save and preserve what we have.
Mm. Can I? One, I can't get my head around it. But what about the feminist movement? Aren't
Yeah.
the feminists coming out in support of you women?
Yeah, but no, actually no, because they are more, defending a political agenda, which is a leftist, anti-racist, immigrationist, etc. And so they say they defend women, but actually they don't, because when these women share their experience, and it's not, helping them with their views and agenda, especially when you say like, okay, but the men I'm afraid of in the streets, the ones that rape us mostly are immigrants, and
Yeah.
they just don't want to see that, because they would say like, okay, but this is different culture and it's racist, and you don't have to specify the origin of the assaulters, and so we are facing a big issue. We cannot communicate with these groups. They actually became enemies of women in France, and it has been my case when I was sexually assaulted by a Tunisian migrant, 3 years ago, or so, or four, sorry. And
Well, that's what I
and
wanted
when
to ask you about.
yeah.
Just to hold you up there. Why were you in trouble with the courts? Just tell the people why you actually in court, what you were facing, and you've been sued lots of times. I've seen in your thing,
Mhm.
but what were you in? What were you in trouble for?
Yeah, to give a little bit of context, I started activism, identitarian activism, at 18 in 2018. And so, yeah, I always had this, right-wing identitarian view, and I defended it a lot, because I was involved in a generation identity movement of youth in France, which has been banned, sadly, since by government in 2021. But I became the spokesperson of this movement. We made big actions like Defend Europe actions, it was called. We deployed banners and fictive frontiers, like symbolic frontiers in the Alps, in the Pyrenees, to alert the authorities and the media about like the porosity of our borders, and all these illegal migrants coming in. We also faced a anti-racist Black Lives Matter demonstration. That's where I was noticed by the media. We deployed like a huge banner in front, on the roof, in a Parisian roof, in front of a 40,000 crowd of Black Lives Matter, activists and African people. And so, yeah, it was a huge thing. So I was already known like for having these views and being a mediatic figure of a far right, in France. And so the government banned the movement in 2021 as we were terrorists. We always had like pacific actions, but we were too efficient, they had to shut us down. So after I started a YouTube channel, I continued to speak about these topics, etc. And always
I'm just
warning
posting a picture of you on the roof.
Yeah,
I think
that's me.
there you are. I love it.
Yeah, very great memory. It was amazing, and yeah, I always warning about immigration issues and the threats our civilization was facing. But in 2020, 22 or 21, I'm sorry, I always yeah, and it happened to me like I was heading back to my home. I was living in Lyon at that time. It's maybe the second or third biggest city in France, and I was followed by a migrant. I didn't notice it, and when I entered my house, he followed me. He locked the door behind me. And I was stuck with this individual in my apartment, because I was like on the first floor. You open the door and you are in the living room, basically. And he took my phone. He told me like to not make any noise and to not call the police. Obviously, I didn't have much choice, because it wasn't like I wasn't living in a street where a lot of people were passing by. Not at all, actually. And it was like plain day. It was at the 11 a.m. So just to give you an idea of that.
Oh, it was actually during the day. It wasn't at night. It was in the middle of the day.
11 a.m.
Wow.
Very sunny day, etc. And so
what were you feeling at that moment? You must have been terrified.
Yeah.
Or did a survival instinct kick in?
Like on the first first of all, I was very shocked. Like I couldn't like imagine what's the situation I was in. And so he stayed like here. He told me first like I'm not gonna harm you. I just like he was speaking like very poor French. I'm not going to imitate him, but you can imagine. And he was saying like he was followed or something. He had to shelter in my place for 10 minutes. I couldn't understand, but I hadn't much choice, so I waited for 10 minutes and I said like, can you go now? Or a little bit more, a few minutes. So it became 15, then 20 minutes. Then he asked me to drink water, but then he said like, oh no, not because of the fingerprints. So I was thinking like, why is this man afraid to leave fingerprints at my house? He's thinking about harming me.
Yes,
so he asked me to give him some water and to wash the glass in front of his eyes, like to supervise. And then about like 25 minutes, he told he was going to go, so I went towards my door, and but then he asked me like, okay, but just before I go, can you give me a kiss? And so I was already panicking, etc. But I was playing more like a calm version, because for the moment he hadn't hurt me yet, so I was still hoping he would leave without trying anything. And so I said like, no, I'm a bit embarrassed. And so he insisted, and for my survival instinct told me like, okay, I'm just gonna kiss him on the cheek. It's very humiliating, but the kind of thing you do just to not to be assaulted or killed.
You're trying to survive. He could kill you.
Yeah. So I said like, okay, maybe on the cheek. And so I did it, but then he grabbed my wrists, and then I knew that it wasn't going to end well. So he asked me like to do him like oral sex, and so then I started crying and begged him and asking him to let me go. Like for 1 minute or so, he tried, he insisted, and so I was crying, and then he stood up, and I don't know if he had some pity for me, because maybe I told him like, I was nice to you, I gave him what you wanted, I gave you water, and so just please leave now. And he opened the door and he left. And so this is I knew it just, like it had like maybe 1% chance that he would let me go. As I said, I had no phone, no person coming by. He could have raped me and killed me, and nobody would never know. And so I was really like shaking and stuff. So I locked the door. I called a friend, and I went to the police station after. Of course, like I wasn't, very at ease in staying in this apartment. So I left a few weeks later. But
what did the police say?
The police said, okay, I went to the station, so I described him. His origins, etc. And the police said like, okay, miss, you have to be a little bit more precise, because we have more than 6,000 cases like yours just in your districts, like just in your area of the city.
Cases, just in your area.
Yeah. So
not all of France, not all of just your little area. 6,000.
Not even just the city, just like the districts in the city. So
like a suburb in Australia.
Like, okay,
6,000.
Yeah, 6,000. Yeah, well. So I know it's insane, and but it doesn't actually really shock me because you know, Lyon, the city is very replaced. It has more and more cases like mine, but also, you know, assaults, but also like stealing and stuff. And so and so they showed me like pictures of suspects, potential assaulters, but I did not recognize him. I saw him on the camera. I said like, there is a camera at the corner of my street, so maybe I will recognize him. I did. But you know, like the day after, I spoke about it on my social media because, as I said, I was already involved like in activism and stuff, and said like, okay, I survived an attempted rape, and here's what happened. So I went on a French television show to talk about my story. There were many people saying, first, I was a liar because, you know, it's too big, too obvious. Like the girl, which is who is right wing, sorry, and all of a sudden there is this migrant. But maybe it's because what I've been saying for years, it's true. Like,
Yeah.
so it can, you know, when you say it can happen to your sisters, your daughters, your mother, and now they even rape grandmother. This is a very you know, almost common thing now. It's very awful and disgusting. They attack grannies like they are 80s and more. And so yeah, it can also happen to you, and it has almost happened to me. And so first there were people saying like I was a liar, but also other people saying like, okay, maybe it has happened. Okay, we are sorry, but why do you need to specify the origins of your assaulter? But like, if he was a white male, there wouldn't be an issue. I could say it without being intimidated and forced to not speak about this. So
Yeah.
so it's crazy. Hopefully, I had a lot of support also from, of course, the French right wing, etc. But so I went after on a TV show to comment on another girl who was raped by a Central African immigrant who was under order of leaving French territory for already a couple of years. Like, you know, the justice in France is just really awful, really laxist. Like, they do not actually face the problems, and there are many cases like this man, many men who actually should leave the territory, and they never go out. So we are just crossing the path of who knows who. Your neighbor can be this kind of man, you know.
Yeah.
And this girl I was talking about, she was raped by this man, and like 1 hour before, he raped another girl. So, you know, he had multiple rapes in the day, and everything's okay. And so she described also her assaulter, and you know, the feminist association, etc., said like, you cannot say that, you're racist, etc. And I stood by her and I said like, no, but the main danger for women in France actually comes from Black and Arab immigrant men, and that's just the reality of it. And for saying doubts on a French TV set, I was sued, you know, by justice. Like, there was the DILCRA, which is a government system like against racism, yeah, racism, anti-Semitism, anti-LGBTism, etc. They, you know, they sued me, and I had to face a court by and justifying myself for just having spoken these words. And the prosecutor heard my story. You know, I told everything I told you. Like, you know, I spoke also, you know, with my own experience and my own, you know, trauma. And she said like, it was a woman. She could have felt like pity for me, empathy. Yeah, like it could have been her. She knows what it's like to being a woman and to be afraid. And she said no, like I was playing victim. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I was using a poor incident just to justify my hate speech, etc. I don't know where what kind of hate speech I gave. Like it's just
No,
facts, and
it's the truth.
it's just the truth. And we have statistics like 63%
Yeah,
of sexual assaults in public transport in Paris are are from foreigners, so not immigrants who could have the French papers, not even, just like foreigners. So just imagine what it could be, like maybe 80 93% if they would we are not allowed in France to have ethnic statistics, sadly, but yeah, there are still numbers that can give credit to my statements. But no, the prosecutor has sought against me a 4 months unsuspended prison sentence. So like they wanted to send me to jail. I was like, did I hear well? Like I'm the one
I
who was
can't process that.
yeah,
I
I'm
just
the one
can't,
who
because
was
this.
it's just insane. And so I was really demoralized. It wasn't the first trial I had for speaking out against mass migration.
Yeah,
And so for a while, I did not speak about this. And it was my friends and family who said, like, you cannot let this happen. You cannot let yourself be condemned in the complete silence. And just speak about it on your social media. I have the chance to have a community, and but I did not expect this to go that far, to go international and viral. And it's amazing because it has raised like the issue of free speech in France, sorry, which
French
doesn't
speak French speech in
exist.
the Western world.
Yeah, and
The
the
entire
Western world in
Western world,
general.
Canada, England, Australia, they want this shut down. They don't.
Yeah,
They call us
exactly.
racist over here. This is the
Yeah,
homophobic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, the transphobic. I think I said that. Anything but
yeah.
other than dealing with the problem.
Exactly. It's just like it's free speech, but as long as you stay in the common, view and
Mm,
speech. So yeah, I spoke about this, and it had like so much mediatic pressure, and even Elon Musk commented my case.
I know.
It was
He shared you.
yeah, it was really big, Japan, etc. So I really think, like, the judges thought it wouldn't be that much of a good idea to condemn me to that extent.
Yeah,
But they still condemned me. Like, they gave me a 1,000 fine because they still considered uh, I was guilty of hate speech, etc. So I made an appeal because I couldn't like accept to be condemned still.
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it would be accepting the fact that maybe I went too far, or I don't know, but no, I
What's
refuse.
too far? You
Um,
spoke the truth.
I just
I
spoke
don't
the truth.
understand. You spoke the
Yeah,
truth. Can I ask you another question? The
of course.
empathy that the French government and the French authorities, the empathy that they extend to these mass migrants and these illegal
Yeah,
migrants, why can't they extend the same empathy to their daughters?
I know. That's insane. There is very
It
this.
seems to be treason. It seems to be like a breakdown in natural human order.
Yeah.
Because if you are a country, you look after your own people first. Even, I hate to
Yeah.
say it, even Napoleon was famous for that. He looked after the French first. This is traditional French way. You
Yeah.
look after, and French women are beautiful. I mean, this is they're a gift. So you look after them first. And here, they seem to be more interested in looking after the attackers of their daughters, and that just
I
doesn't make
know.
any sense from a human perspective.
Yeah, from an evolutionary perspective, yeah, it's just
Revolutionary
insane.
perspective.
Yeah.
It goes against the very humanity itself. What about the men in Paris, the actual French men? How are they handling this? Because they must want to go to war.
Yeah, but we have been so much brainwashed for decades, and
Yeah,
yeah, the French people has softened so much. I think also like the Second World War, of course, really um we had this big guilt towards this event, and you know the French population collaborated with the Nazi at the time. So
It's
you know
true.
we are being so very ashamed for this, and the media, you know, they are pretty much all oriented on the left wing, and it's a very
Yes,
big
same here.
power. So yeah, you of course. There is always this narrative that if you tell what if you say what I'm saying, you know, you are a Nazi, etc. So it's really a rhetoric that has worked for so many years, but it's starting not to work anymore, because you know you cannot really hide reality, and it's getting so much visible for more and more French people. They are forced to live with their invaders and to love them and to submit to them. And
Yeah.
there is
Submit is the
some,
word.
yeah, of course. And
It's the
there
word.
is this resistance which is rising, but it's not
Of course.
enough. It's not enough. You
Yeah.
know, the clock is ticking. The demography is changing very fast. We do not have enough children anymore in France. I think it's, you know,
Yes,
the
same in
common issue
Spain, same in
everywhere.
Australia.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah, and
replacing ourselves. And the
exactly.
migrants, they're having lots of children and usually
Yeah.
living on the dole. Can I ask you,
So
what do you
yeah.
think would happen if French men went to Tunisia or wherever these people came from and started raping their women? What do you think those countries would do?
Yeah, of course, the Tunisian men wouldn't, or Arab men, they wouldn't let them do this. It's
Mm.
yeah, of course, the Frenchmen have softened, as I said, and they do not really they are not protecting us really anymore. Of course, they are, you know, right wingers and stuff, but it's not the majority of the French people. You know, people are just too afraid of violence, and also when you make justice yourself, you know, you are prosecuted,
Vigilante. Yeah.
you are sued, as well as you were the aggressor, and it's insane. Like the justice system just wants to crush you also, and I've seen
If
this
someone
with my
raped
own.
my daughter, I have a 22-year-old daughter. If someone raped my daughter, I'd want to kill him.
Yeah, like
Sorry,
normal,
ironic.
just normal reaction. But
Yeah.
the mediatic and justice system will say that you know, you are
Mm.
the one in the wrong, you know, and it's their duty and not yours. And we, of course, I agree with you. I think that rapists should you know, not only face jail, but also like pedophiles, etc. We should have the death sentence come back in France.
You have the
It
guillotine
has,
there, or you did.
yeah,
Do you feel betrayed by your country as a
of
French
course,
woman, young French woman?
yeah,
You do.
yeah. I feel
How
betrayed.
do you deal with that? You feel that your actual country has betrayed you.
Actually, it's a bit like difficult for quite some years. I was, you know, as I said, demoralized. I started activism at 18, so I'm 26 now. It has been a couple of years, and of course, psychologically, it's demoralizing. Demoralizing. Sorry, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
You are considered a criminal. I had my bank account shut down multiple times. Like, you know, the banks don't want to open an account for me. Also, like in the
Wow.
streets, in the yeah, it's insane. In my movement, the youth movement I was involved in, was banned. I had like multiple trials for just speaking the truth, and of course it's really sad, because my family, like, I'm French since like thousands of years. My family has always been here. You know,
So young.
I have you know, ancestors in almost everywhere in France, but like
Yeah,
it's
Richard.
really an old family also. You know, my name, it's really French. I'm just so sad to see that, but I still have hope, of course, of my for my people, because I want it to wake up, and but you know, the international um, aspects my case took it gave me hope again because I was not alone anymore. I just saw that there were so many people like European, American, and even Australian that
Yeah,
cared
we're
about
fed up, man. We're fed
yeah,
up.
we all are.
We don't. Australia is a country of migrants.
Yeah.
I was on the and it's very multicultural, but usually we all get on. It's only recently that they are bringing in far more than we can accommodate. You
Mm.
know, they're huge numbers, and they don't care. They're just for. We didn't vote for it. We don't want it. The most we have a right wing uh, political party, One Nation, that's now more popular than all the other political parties because she's saying she's going to stop it. Pauline Hanson says she's going to stop it, and people want it stopped because they see our people homeless. They see
Mm.
other races taking over all the businesses. We feel like we're being replaced,
Yeah.
and
I,
that's what it feels like.
yeah.
Demoralized, shamed, and in time replaced. And our leaders are all white. All our politicians, the vast majority, are white, and yet they seem to have an issue with white people.
They are
And if you speak
traitors.
about it, this is it. Yeah.
Yeah, they are traitors. They work against their own people. I don't have
Yeah.
words to qualify these men, these women. Um, like
Look at England.
it just yeah, it just seems insane
England
to
is
me.
the
Like
same.
the grooming gangs, etc. When you just there are horrific stories of girls not only raped but also killed. One of them was
Yeah.
transformed into a kebab. Like what in hell are we living in? And
Yeah.
it's our daughters, and we cannot protect them
And
anymore
the police
because we are
protect them.
yeah, because it would be racist and stuff. So of course there is the corruption in the government because they have economic advantages to inflige like force the French people, the English people, etc., to live with these people. They don't care because they want to have the more amount of money they can have, and then after they leave, they're not re-elected. They are here for like 5 years, maybe 10, for for people for the president that stay longer than the others. But at least it's just 10 years, and after, okay, you have the rent for life, and you've made a lot of money, and you helped your little friends here and there who had advantages in all of this situation, and we are just the one who are being sacrificed in this. So they are traitors. They need to be judged as traitors when we will win. I hope. I don't know if France will be saved. Sorry, but at least if the other European and Western country can just see the how France has become, and just okay, we don't want to be like them. I think like Poland or this kind of country
Poland,
have
yeah,
still
Poland.
they still have
They've
these
yeah.
instincts like to its Polish people before the
Mm.
others, and they are completely right because we should all think like that. It's just insane we don't anymore because of this self-racial hatred, etc. And so yeah, I don't really see the end of this. If we do not elect like a right-wing party this election or the other, I think we have maybe 15-20 years ahead of us before we are being we are a minority in our own country.
Yeah,
And
that's what you will become if you're not there
but
already.
like the media and are so powerful that's I'm afraid the next election, the French people will still be afraid to elect the right-wing party because the media will afraid them and say like, if you vote for them, it's the return of the darkest times of our history, etc.
Your daughters are being raped.
Yeah,
Your daughters are
yeah,
being raped. This is the darkest time. Your grandmothers are being raped. This is the dark
exactly,
time. I'm
exactly.
sorry. You don't need to get any darker. Any darker, they'll start killing you. You're
I
here. You're
know.
already in the darkest time. The
Yeah,
world is
we.
looking on in horror. Only on our Twitter feed, we see nothing on mainstream media, nothing at
Yeah,
all. But on our Twitter feeds, we see the horror, and
yeah,
we are aghast. What do we do? How do we do this? And it's the I can't comprehend the media, because even though the media, maybe I understand right at the top, they may be paid off or they believe they're doing the right thing. But there are so many journalists, there's so many working parts to the media. I can't believe that there's not journalists screaming out, I can't do this. I have to tell the truth. And the truth is, our daughters are frightened to walk the streets of France. This is their country. And they're frightened to walk the streets. And they should be frightened.
Yeah,
This
of
is
course.
make believe. This should be frightened. Are you
Yes.
frightened when you walk the streets?
Yeah,
Or are
I
you
am.
always,
Of course,
you
I
actually
am.
frightened?
I left. I left the main cities. I'm now living southwest coast of France, which is still preserved. But you know, like a couple of years ago, there was still a bus driver who was killed by four immigrants who jumped on his head, and it was the city next to where I live. So you know, even in these areas, even if it's less common than elsewhere, there are still things like that that are occurring more and more. And so yeah, it's actually kind of depressing, you know. I want still have hope, etc. And you know, believe that we, the French people, but not only the French people, like all Europeans, we have so much richness, you know. We actually, if we wanted, we would like crush them in a second, you know. They wouldn't stand a chance in front of us. It's obvious. But we have still this moral chains that we don't have the capacity to do this, and that's our role also to you know spread the information that the media don't want to show. You know, 2 days ago there was this Louis boy, 17, who was who died in France.
Yes. Tell us about him.
Yeah,
Beautiful young man.
beautiful boy, so sad. French native boy who was killed by four immigrants, and I don't know the other one. Maybe he was French, but you know, like there is this group that can lead you to do horrible things, and you know, there is also this rap culture and in France that influence also of all the youth actually. And many French young people also want to integrate with, you know, with the invaders and stuff, because they are the strong ones. They intimidate them. If you are not in the group, you are against us, and we are going to bully you and to eventually kill you. That's what happened to Louis. And he was beaten to death by 5 thugs and left for dead at a construction site. And eventually he was found by a worker the day after, and he went to the hospital. He stayed in a coma for 3 or 4 days, and eventually he died. And you know, there were horrific images circulating on X, but thanks to Twitter, we actually can share these images, because without it, you know,
The attackers filmed themselves doing it, didn't they?
yeah, they filmed, they,
That's
you know,
how
they
frightened they
took
are
selfies,
of
they
getting
took selfies above his dying body. Like, what kind of barbary is that? You have no soul.
What
You
is
are
the
animals.
difference between that? What is the difference between these migrants beating the boy to death, taking selfies? What's the difference between that and the Nazis killing anyone they thought was a in the resistance? What is the
Of
difference
course.
between the Nazis killing resistance fighters and these migrants killing the boy? What's the difference?
Yeah, and they are even like, yeah, more coward. Like they attack a boy at 5 against 1. Like
And they
there's,
leave him on a construction strike all
yeah,
night to die.
yeah,
So he would have been saved, but instead they're
yeah.
just worrying about their social media posts and they leave him to die alone.
And the
So he
media, you
dies
know,
alone in his own
the
country without
the
help.
the, the media first called this like a fight, you know, like a fight between young boys. But no, it wasn't a fight. Like it was an assault. It was an ambush. And they
Yeah.
tried to hide this. It's because we
5
spoke about
against 1
this.
is not a fight. 5 against
Yeah.
1 is a gang attack.
Yes, exactly. And that's because the family saw the articles and said, they called the journalist and they said, but what are you telling? That it's not the truth. And the media didn't want to call this an ambush until we, you know, activists, influencers, etc. We shared the video, because the family had the videos and they shared it to a right-wing journalist in France, and that's how we knew this. But for a long time, the media hide just try to hide this, and it's very common. Like they don't share their real names; they replace them with French ones. They say it's pseudonyms, but Mohammed becomes Lucas. It's insane, and it's very common. They don't want this to make the headlines, and eventually we succeed to make some of these cases that happen very frequently in France. We succeed to make them the headlines, but it's not always the case. Like a few days ago, also there was a 86-year-old woman who was stabbed and beheaded at a camping site by an immigrant, but nobody talked about this because we don't have footage, because we don't beheaded.
Like
just
the man
like that.
They tried to behead in Ireland.
Just like she was going on a holiday, and she just like that. Okay, completely free. And
can I show you similarities? Sorry to interrupt. Can I show you similarities in our country? We have a very famous beach over here in Sydney called Bondi Beach. Every tourist comes to Bondi Beach. It's just this beautiful beach in Sydney. And they had a shooting there. 2 Muslim fanatics were shooting Jewish people. They shot about 15, 16. They shot a load of people. Our Prime Minister refuses to use the word Muslims, refuses to word Islamic terrorism. Instead, he said the real threat is right-wing people like you, like me, who we don't shoot anyone. We're just calling out. He said, we're the threat. Now the security services got to focus on us. This boy who did the shooting, his father and a boy did the shooting. The boy was on a watch list by the secret services. They knew he was dangerous, and his father had 6 guns. Now they're taking the guns of anybody who's a right winger who speaks like this. We haven't shot anyone, but they take our guns. This father had 6 guns. The car was full of ISIS flags, and they came down and they shot them all. And you get in trouble for mentioning that this is an Islamic terrorist attack, which is what it is.
Yeah.
The state protects them because they want the votes.
Exactly.
They want the votes, and staying in power is more important than the Australian citizens. That's all they want is power, and they don't care about us. And it seems to me, as I'm listening to you, that the French authorities do not care for the French people, but a country that doesn't care for its daughters, to me, the country is lost. It needs the only change I can see coming is from the ground up. Yeah. That's your only hope. It comes from the ground up because the authorities are lost. They're actually traitors to France.
Yes, I completely agree with you, and I could also, tell you.
I don't want you to end up in jail for having this conversation. But let's be honest, if we're going to get arrested, I might get arrested for having this conversation here too. But I don't care, because this is it. This is the survival instinct of a species. When you were on Elon Shared, and I said to my partner, I said, that's the girl I reached out to. Oh my God, look, she's going viral. And you're so beautiful and you're so articulate. Any country should be going, this is our daughter. Look at our daughter. And should be proud of you. And instead, they're trying to throw you in jail.
Well, thank you. But
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But, they even the French left wing, the deputies, actually, one of them yesterday said, like, you racist, you've already lost. One on 3 French now is immigrants. So you are going to be a minority. Now they reclaim it. Like, they are proud of it. They assume that, there is a great replacement and you've lost. And so, as you said, they want the power. They want the votes of the immigrants. Yeah. This party, they want to give the votes to foreigners also. Like, anybody can vote in France. There is no issue. Like, say, as you said, they want the money, they want the power, and
I'm sorry, I'm a bit angry. But if a group of people come from one country and are granted access to a richer country and all the benefits that come with it, and then they start raping the daughters and the women of that country, then I'm racist. I'm happy to be racist. I want that race gone. I want
Yeah.
those people that are doing that, I want them gone. And if you call me racist, call me whatever you fucking want, I want them gone. Your daughter,
Yeah.
my daughters, our daughters are more important than our empathy for people from poorer countries. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go back and
Yeah.
sort out your own country, and maybe we'll migrate there once you're successful. But once they start attacking the daughters, that's it. They should be put on a thing, sent back. You're never allowed back here after doing a long stint in jail. This
Yeah.
whole thing of protecting them, letting them off, it
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense from a humanistic point of view. It only makes sense that the authorities have either they are so blind to their bullshit, the authorities are either blind to their bullshit, or they've agreed we're going to change France forever, and the France that you love, the world loves, is gone.
Yeah.
You go to France now, you probably get mugged, you might get raped, you're going to get this is it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know, I agree with you. I just hope the French people will wake up before it's too late. I don't know if they will, because
If they don't wake
I
up soon, they'll be too broken to wake up.
yeah,
Because they'll be too broken. If you're
yeah,
a
that's
father out there and your daughter's been raped and you're not screaming blue murder and demanding justice or searching the streets for the attacker, then as a
yeah,
man, there's something wrong with you. Take your balls off and hand them back into God, because you're of no use to you. I'm sorry,
yeah.
this is so angry. And we've been
I,
so
I
nice because we
agree.
don't want to be called racist. Bullshit.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
I know
This is it.
this is also the issue that men are not masculine, no, really, anymore. Like they are, crushed by all we say, and they just say nothing, and it's actually
I don't
sad.
care of their excuses. This is
Yeah,
ancient stuff. This is ancient masculine stuff. This is thousands of years old. This would have been, your ancestors would have faced this from other invaders. This is old stuff. This is fundamentally masculine. Men are supposed to be the protectors. And if you take down the protectors, then you leave your women in this vulnerable position. And if you do nothing, then what are you as a man? What are you as a human? What's the point to your existence? What, just to pay off bricked up air? Just to maybe get so what? What
yeah,
are you as a man?
yeah. I know.
Let
You
alone
know
the
that.
country. What are you as a man if you're letting this happen in your own country? And if you're French and you're listening, I hope you're listening. We're disgusted by you. Honestly,
Yeah,
this is it. I just don't understand it anymore. And all these platitudes and nice things and how we're trying to pussyfoot around the issue. The rapists aren't pussyfooting around the issue. They're just having a ball.
mm,
So
yeah.
I don't want to get
Like
more trouble. Maybe I should shut up now, because
no,
I don't want you to end up.
no. I 100% agree with you. Of course. In Belgium, like 2 days ago, there was this man who, you know, who attacked a pedophile that assaulted his son or something like that, and so he was the one who had a trial and who is facing potential jail. It's insane, when you try to because he was fed up that he actually tried to take the legal way and ask the justice to put the pedophile in jail, but the justice for years they haven't do nothing, and I just have this feeling that the migrant, the pedophile, they are protected. I don't
Yeah, we
understand
feel the
actually
same
this.
over here.
Yeah, and so this father, and he's 100% right. He said like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna beat this bastard
Good on
myself,
him.
and so he's the one who is actually, and now the justice is like, okay, now we have to take this case and send this father to jail. Okay, what have you done for all these years? He tried to warn the justice and send this bastard to jail, and so yeah, the men are being crushed, and the French, especially, I think they are getting a bit more like coward and stuff. It's sad to say because I'm French and I love my people, but
You are not a coward.
yeah, yeah,
You are not a coward. You are the hope for France.
yeah. Well, I don't
You
know.
and people like you. It
Yeah,
might be very hard
we're
now,
trying.
but you and people like you. You know, in this situation, I have a very good friend who's a war historian, Dr. Bruce Pay. And he says in situations like this, people like you can win by just not quitting. You just never give up. Never, never, never give up. And that's your chance of winning. I know that everything's against you, but eventually people will get sick of it. One by one, people get thing. You know, they will have enough. And I'm not saying you've got to remove every person of another color from your country, because obviously not all of them. There's probably a good lot of them that aren't rapists in this. They just want to get on and live. I see it in this country. But there is this certain element that they have to go. We just can't have them in our countries. We just can't. It's like the boys in Melbourne here that go around with the machetes. You get one, you got a machete, send you back to wherever you came from. Go over there, chop up whoever you want. You can't be here. We have to have standards, and you can't be here. And we can't have them attacking our women unless they go to jail like forever. But if they're just being let off, then why wouldn't they do it again? What have they got to lose?
Yeah, because so many of them, you know, they face a brief sentence of prison, and then they eventually go out 2-3 years after, because you know, there are not enough places in the prisons, and etc. And he showed like good attitude, good behavior in the prison.
Yeah,
so
good behavior.
he's free now.
What?
Yeah.
You got her a towel? I mean, there's I saw in Switzerland 4 migrants in a school raped a girl in a school, filmed themselves doing it, raped her, gang raped her. And then not only were they not charged, but they were allowed back into the school where the girl is. So she's probably left. And the reason they were allowed back into the school is that the principal said rapists are victims too. No, they're not. They're rapists. Up to jail. It's not hard. You do that, you cross the border, you get caught, off to jail. We have to have that. Otherwise, what do we have as a society? Why should anyone live up to the social contract? Otherwise, it's like a Mad Max or something, and we're just going around, you know. It's insane. It's insane. There's no benefit to the French people for this. You know, you lose tourism. I don't want to, you know, I wouldn't want my daughter to go to Paris. So you lose tourism dollars, you lose your self-respect, you eventually lose your culture, and your culture is priceless. Priceless. And you lose your daughters. You don't deserve your culture if you don't defend your daughters. You don't deserve a culture. That's it. Yeah.
This is complete madness. Yeah, you know.
Sorry,
Well,
I hope
we
you
just
an intellectual,
I-
empathetic discussion. I'm just a man. I do this because I see crazy stuff happening in my country too, and it has to be called out. We have to. We have to. So I'll show you something. This was an old woman at a protest. She was 72 years old, and how does it go up? It should go up. I'll see my producer. It's up here, but I can't show it from there.
Well, actually, I see the picture.
Oh, you can see the picture? Yeah, so
I do.
there it is. So this was famous. I was at this rally. She was 72 years old. This front man pushed her over and then pepper sprayed her as she lay on the ground. And then the second police officer did it. And my question is, forget that they are police officers and they have protect and serve on their badges. My question is, when as men did your father sit you down and say it's okay to beat up old women, especially even in uniform? We don't. Men aren't taught that. We don't need to be taught that because we're meant to be protectors. This is fundamental, basic things that are wrong with society.
Yeah.
Protect your women.
It's insane. Yeah. We've
I
seen.
admire you from coming on. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I let you get back? Because I'm thinking the rest of the world needs to talk to you too, and I hope they do. I think it's great that Elon shared it. But
actually, I have
like
after. It's really a great pleasure and an honor to speak to you today, and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm
no
very
problem.
glad my story was the occasion to speak more about France and to be a bit of a bridge between France and other Western country. And we just see that we are all in the same kind of troubles.
Yes.
The protection of our governments towards the immigrants, the Muslim population, which causes trouble, the rapists, the pedophiles, etc. So I know it's really, we are just sharing all our concerns and the big issues, but in the end, it also gives me more hope, as I said, than before, because now I have these contacts a little bit and here and there, and so it has just showed me that we are all in the same. We're all in this together, actually. European brothers and also cousins from America and Australia, and we are all these white people and this civilization. We have pretty more or less in common, and so
We
that's
have a
why
right
I
to be
think,
proud as white
yeah, and we
people.
have
We
all
have
the
done
rights.
amazing things.
Yes, we have been so much a plus. We gave so much to the world, and
Yes.
we are of so much value. And actually, the world doesn't want to lose us, because without us, actually, the world would be a pretty nasty place. Like a pretty lots of amazing things in the world. They come from us, and we have all the right to be proud of this. And we have this empathy and charity to share it
That's
with the
right.
world, and so they should be grateful. And we are nice
Mm.
people, we are empathetic people. we
Mm.
we don't we have nothing, do not have any hate towards anyone. At the beginning, we just share with everyone, but they don't have to take advantage of us because of that. And now we have the right, to say no, to be strong, and to not let them intimidate us and play the victim card. We have all
Yeah.
the rights in the world to send them back if we need to. Actually, in Generation Identity, the movement I was involved in, we were inspired by the no way policy of Australia. We actually had banners saying like "No way, you should not make Europe home," etc. So we still like we are long in a long distance from one another, but we still have this view that we all are part of the same civilization. And if
Yes, we are.
we stand strong with one another, and thank you again for having me. We are
No
not
problem.
alone in this,
I'm honored to have you.
and we are not alone in this, and we will win in the end, I'm sure, because white people have so much to give to the world, so they don't have any advantage to actually eliminate us. We just have to wake up early enough to save the more people we can save.
Yeah. Yeah. There's look, feel free to stay in touch if ever you're doing other things and you want to spread the words on anything. Please put me on your list of podcasters that you can reach out to. There's other podcasters in Australia too. I think there's been a lot of people reaching out to you. So, and I think you should speak as much as you can, because I think you're very powerful. Yeah, your beauty is an asset in this, because any man out there be looking, go, if that was my daughter, that this could fire them up. You know what I mean? And you're beautifully spoken, you're incredibly courageous. France should have you as going, look at our daughter. The fact that they've got you in jail shows you that France is lost at the moment. It needs to find
Yeah.
itself. It is lost, or the upper echelon is lost. So yeah, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I shall keep watching. I'm honored to have you on, and let's see what happens. I'm going to go out with a song for anyone watching. This is called Silent Man. This is about a man who doesn't want to speak about anything that matters, and suicide is hunting him because he feels so cowardly and worthless. So it's a warning to men that if you don't do anything, you will grow to the grave, and you will be full of regret. And no song from Edith Piaf will take that regret away if you don't do what you know you have to do now. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
truth. You have one life on this planet, and if you're not doing what your heart is screaming for you to do, then you, sir, are lost as well. Okay, I'm going out. Thank you so much. I wish you the best, and I will keep watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Have a good night.
That is un-effing believable. And now we might have someone else coming on. We'll keep this open, but it doesn't look like she is. I guess it's very hard for them to speak. They're very scared of getting in trouble. But this is Silent Man. And let's see what happens. Oh, and Karl Stefanovic, if you're kosher, welcome to the war.
This is my 1968 Ford Mustang, same as Steve McQueen drove in Bullet. I rebuilt it myself, all by hand. It is my secret weekend lover. The engine has sensors that monitor it all as I drive through the hills looking for something to fix. Little white crosses popping, flowers wilting round their base. The last been reached, again I guess, by another silent man. The last been reached, again I guess, by another silent man. They sacked Brian today, 33 years on the job. One little mistake and now he's gone. A few months ago they sacked Matt the same way. Marched him through the staff room like a criminal. I wanted to say something, but you can't. For if you want to survive, then you've got to learn somehow to find the courage to be just another silent man. Just another silent man. There are so many curves on this mountain road, and so many of them are blind. But my car eats them all, for there's nothing wrong. I guess today is the day she no longer needs me. I've been wanting to call Brian. Look, May, it's not like I don't care, but what can I, as one man, do? Surely you understand, things are not like they were before. To try and keep your job now, somehow you have to learn to be just another silent man. This land is changing. This is a fast changing land. Yeah, I get it, okay, I read the memo, I understand. You wanna say something now, in fact you just wanna scream, but you know that you can't.